What's up, guys? This is Bird's Eye Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for your spirit guide messages. So, pick number or a crystal, 1, 2, or 3, and that will correspond to your group where you will find your messages. So, I'll give you a second to do that. Alright, if you chose group 1 with the blue kyanite, this is your reading. So, spirit guides of group 1. What messages do they need to know right now? Okay, so you are called to be creative right now. You're called to find something new, something that will help you gain a little bit of perspective about what's going on in your life, because there's been a lot of cloudiness, there's been a lot of haziness, and you're being told that you can find this clarity that you've been searching for, but you just have avoided doing something very kind of simple that would help you clarify things in general. Yeah, you're asked to start telling yourself the truth about the situation that you've been in, whether it be the situation with yourself or with somebody else. There's been a little bit of disappointment, is what I've been hearing, because people aren't saying the whole truth. Whether you're just not telling yourself the truth about the situation, about your situation, about your life, or somebody else is not telling you the truth. There's just this kind of deception around, which is interesting. I heard that with somebody else the other day. And honestly, these two guys, they're looking away from each other. They're not working with each other at all. So you're asked to start to melt this fire and this air nature, which is kind of contradictory, because air will put out fire, but also, I guess, it feeds the fire. So, but they're not working with each other right now. They are, your thoughts and your impulses, your feelings, they're just not in line. You have the devil. Okay, so yeah, you've been stuck in this thought process over and over again, this loop. And Spirit is helping you find a way out of it now. But it wants you to acknowledge that this has been a problem. That you have been suffering because of the way that you've been thinking over and over again about this situation that you've been in. King of Cups. Yeah, it's causing you so much emotional, ups and downs and all arounds, and you are... I don't like to say this, but I heard on the path to destruction for some of you. So for some of you, this could be an addiction, a literal addiction, but for others of you, this is just you're emotionally addicted to something or someone. You're addicted to the way that you are thinking about something, or your negative thought patterns, or you're addicted to a person who is really not good for you. But with all this masculine energy here too, interesting. So for a lot of you, this is a relationship. For others of you, this could even be a group situation where it could be a group of friends, Who and these two people, there's two people who are like working together, and then there's one person who's kind of on the outs, but he's not to be trusted. Interesting. So if that dynamic makes any sense to you, then there you go. But if not, then this is just your higher self telling you that you need some self-care, and you need to figure out a way to get away from this repetitive behavior or thought pattern, because it is really bringing you down, and there's a lot that's awaiting you. Your manifestations that are awaiting you are really big if you can let this go. So, as far as what the spirit guides of Group 1 want to tell them. So guides, please let us know. Your luck is going to change soon. Oh, wow, okay. And I don't even know if this is for the worse or for the better, but I would say that for many of you, this isn't... Okay, before I say that, this is going to be a change that is ultimately going to be positive for you, but it might be difficult for a while. So, but, I mean, if you change the way this video right now, that doesn't change the fact. It just makes you digging your head into the sand. So, what else do we need to know about this? Yeah, you're just really you're trying not to make a decision. You're trying not to get away from this person who's clearly not good for you. This situation that's clearly not good for you. You've been thinking about it. You know it. You know what's the truth of the situation, but it's like you refuse to see it. You're blindfolded to this reality. And it's like things have been falling away, like all the good things that have been part of this relationship or this situation, all the good things that you saw about it before are falling away. As the days go by, things just start falling away. All the good aspects of it just seem to be going away. But there is love coming to you. This could be self-love as well. Yeah, this is definitely this is both. For many of you, if you're single, ready to mingle, then this is love coming towards you. But first of all, all this stuff, all this baggage that you've been dealing with for as long as you've been dealing with, and that you can let go of, that is a, I mean, it's not going to be as hard to let go of as you think it is. And I know that that's easier said than done for many people, but I think there's a shift in perspective that you really need to take that will help you. That will really help you let go of so many things, and you're just gonna have this weight lifted off your shoulders. But for now, your thoughts are keeping you in this jail cell. Yeah, and you've been recovering from heartbreak, but you are being asked to start being open. First, start with being open to your own love. Be open to giving yourself love and not feeling gross about it. Not feeling gross about buying yourself a meal. Not feeling regretful for taking care of yourself, bringing yourself to a movie, doing something nice for yourself. Like, when you feel that regret, acknowledge it, but breathe and just try to let it go. The more you practice that, the more it will work. But don't push it away, because that's not going to help either. But try to let it go, because there's been these people and these situations in your past that have really traumatized you, and that this is not entirely your fault. But it's just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility now. And that's the really hard fact that it's Honestly, I hate hearing that. So I know you probably do too, and I'm so sorry. But you have a lot of happiness coming to you, guys. You have so much happiness coming to you. You've got, I mean, if you're single right now, or if you're like, you're not in a serious relationship right now, things are going to get serious for you in a really good way once you let go of all this baggage that you've been holding on to for so long, and you allow yourself to open up and be free and be creative and like just have this huge shift in your life. Yeah, and you're taking control of things. Like, you feel very out of control. You feel very helpless right now. And that is going to change. That is really going to change. You're going to have this shift of perspective, whether you like it or not. It's going to happen. But, the more you just try to let it happen, just intend to let it happen, you don't need to focus on what that exactly is. Just say to the universe, I allow for this change to happen, and it will. It really will. It might take a while. Yeah, you are not taking enough care of yourself. You need to, if you need to be eating. Oh gosh, that sounds like I specifically said I don't want messages from me, but the fact that came out my mouth, sometimes we forget to eat. And I'm definitely guilty of it. But you need to be eating. You need to be, giving yourself nutritious things. You need to be nutrifying? I don't think that's a word. Your body, though. Whatever. You know the idea. You need to be doing that to your body. You need to be giving your mind, your body, what it needs to function. Because you know what? This could be... Sometimes I see this card as the central nervous system. Because the brain is the boss of the body. And that's the emperor. And interestingly enough, look how this is the King of Swords, which is like the king of thoughts and the king of communication. There's this lack of communication between your head and your heart. And it's causing all sorts of issues, and you're asked to meditate on this and to try to release that block that's maybe like in your throat chakra or in your heart chakra or somewhere between. Like, you have a very active crown chakra, and but there's just a blockage between your crown and your sacral and your root chakra, and it's causing all of these problems, basically. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but you can start by working on these chakras, working on the connection, get some Reiki healing, and finding out what it is that needs to change, or just, allowing the change to happen without even needing to know exactly what it is. Oh, I'm so glad that I'm so glad that I didn't push that up too high, because that definitely has nudity on it. But that's the Lover's card, as you probably guessed. I think it'll be okay. So, let's see what else you need to know, Group 1. Highly recommend the artist Still Woozy. He's so good. I'm listening to him right now. Spirit guides of Group 1, please give us more messages that Group 1 needs to know, please. Judgment. You know what? That's interesting, because I was just watching Terminator, and the day that the robots take over is called Judgment Day. And I thought that was really interesting, because that adds so much context to this. And I hadn't seen it in so long that I forgot about it, but it was always kind of in my head. But anyway, the final judgment is coming. There's this day where everything will change. That is Judgment Day, the day when truly everything changes. And whether that's for the better or for the worse is up to your situation. Here we have the devil again. You have got to release this person, this thought pattern, this drug, this habit from your life. Because whether you release it or not, it's going to happen. However, it's going to be a lot easier on you if you intentionally release it. The Nine of Swords. This is causing you a lot of anxiety. This is causing you so much anxiety. And, you know, it's not just that, but it's like, again, I'm getting these calls about, these words about trauma. And about, like, just the words that are repeating in your head that people have said to you. Like, mean things that people have said. Like, just thoughtless things. That now you've taken in as part of you. And it just causes you so much heartache. And the universe is really trying to help you release this, okay? And I know it seems like, for many of you, I'm sure it seems like it's just not possible, that's never going to happen, but I guarantee you it really will. Because what those people said, with the Seven of Swords, what these people said was not always true, even though you took it to heart as true. But it wasn't true. And that's what the universe is trying to tell you right now, that this was not true. What these people said was bullshit, okay? And I know it seems like after people have said it to you over and over again, how are you supposed to not believe it? But these people were not, they weren't treating you badly because of you. They were treating you badly because of them. They wanted an outlet, and they got it through you. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. And, you know, for some of you, you really are going to be helped by, you know, with the aid of a therapist. Getting a personal reading is a very different thing, but, you know, that could help you too. Let me know if you would like that, and I can help you out. You have the Six of Wands. Interesting. So, there are people, you are bound for success, okay? You really are. Like, it's like you have so much potential within you, and you are refusing to allow that, you're refusing to accept it, because you just feel so unworthy. You feel like you're not even worthy to eat for some of you. You're not worthy to get the things you enjoy, even though you've worked very hard for them. But abundance is coming towards you. I know that some of you are thinking, well, how many people are watching this video? Can abundance really be coming to all of you? Yes, it can, and it will. Comes in divine timing, of course, but it will come. It's the right thing. This is what justice is always fair. Justice never is, you know, what justice is ultimate. There is no, like, justice is always going to be had, whether we see it or not, but the universe is saying what is just, what is right, is for you to find this abundance. And it hates seeing you suffer. And so it wants you to know that this abundance is coming towards you. You are allowed to let go of these bullshit things that people have said to you, because they are injured and they have their own work to do. And it is time to heal. Okay. Alright, group 1. Well, I think that's all. I hope this reading was helpful for you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And comment down below how it resonated for you. I would love to hear. Thank you so much. Have a great, whenever you're watching, day, night. Alright, so group 2. if you chose this selenite, then this is your reading. Spirit guides of group 2, what do they need to know, please? The Hanged Man. Interesting. The Magician. Wow, you are so powerful. But your power is being held on to. It's like your power is being siphoned, or not even siphoned, but it's like your true potential is being held back because of something. Something is holding back your true potential. Yeah, you are destined to be something. You're destined to really be somebody who is known within your community or even within the world. Somebody famous, somebody successful, and somebody who has very who other people hear their words and they take them to heart. They believe them. They believe their words. They know that they know them to be true, and they know them to be wise. But you don't take any shit from anybody. I can definitely feel that. You are so set. You might be a Capricorn, but not necessarily. But you are so set on getting this abundance for yourself, but there's this thing is like you really need to release something, which is interesting. The last group was similar, but you really need to release something in order to gain the ultimate abundance that you've been looking for, because it's coming. It's already there for some of you, but it's like there's something about your personal power that you've already had a taste of what it is to have, like, really powerful manifesting abilities. Is in the past you have manifested things and they have come to react to fruition, and you are kind of shocked by it. But you know, there's just this thing, this weight that needs to be released in order for you to find your full expression of manifestation. And my God, will you be good at it? When you are able to release whatever this is, your manifestation abilities are going to go through the roof. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so you're really being called to meditate right now, to go within, to do some shadow work. Start finding those places that you don't love about yourself and finding ways to accept it, to embrace it, to send love to it anyway, even though it's something that other people would never love according to your belief system. It is still part of you, and it's still worthy of existing, and it still exists. Whether or not you want it to exist, it still exists. So you have to let go of this need to control every aspect of your being, because it's not possible. We are in control of ourselves ultimately, but we cannot control every single aspect of ourselves. There's a certain amount of release that we have to do, of surrender that we have to do to get to a place where we are so comfortable within ourselves, that we are so able to find reasons why we are good, why we are worthy. And Nine of Swords again. Last pile was similar. I mean, with this pile, the manifestation is already happening. You've already witnessed your abilities. And that's the thing. For some of you, there was something that you wanted for a long time, and you just, you worked on it, but it seemed very out of reach, and then one day it just came to life. And you're like, wow, how did that happen? It still baffles you to think about it, but for some reason, it's like you've lost this belief in that ability to manifest things because you haven't had validation for it all the time. And that happens to everybody when like, losing faith is really easy. Having faith is super hard. And it's something that I think, continuously need to work on. But you don't have to worry about it in order to work on it. There's a difference between worry and doing legitimate work, and one comes from a place of fear, and one comes from a place of love. And they can't really exist in the same place. We have the Emperor, the Two of Cups, and Death. So, for some of you, there is a relationship with another person that has come to an end recently, and you've kind of kept yourself busy, and you've tried to push away those feelings that really need to come up before you can really move on from what's happened and accept it completely and go to the next stage of your life. There has to be a release of this person, of this concept, of this doubt that you have of yourself, this fear that whatever you do is going to bring something negative, even though you've had examples of how that's not true. And I think you're thinking of them right now. You've had examples of how what you want to manifest does happen, but it's like there's this, you have to be in a certain state of mind, and it's for so far it's come just naturally. You didn't have to like try to finagle your way into that state of mind, but you know that if you can find it, then you will have a lot more success. You'll have a lot more ease and bringing about what you want. And for some of you, there's this person that you want, or there's just this idea of a person. And first of all, I think if for some of you, the idea of needing somebody else, needing to be in a relationship in order to be happy, must be released. Because, if you don't love yourself first, and I know this is cliche, but it's just so true. If you don't love yourself first, then you really, really will not be in the correct place to have a proper relationship with somebody else. I'm not saying that you're not worthy of that love just because you don't love yourself. What I'm saying is the dynamics of the relationship are going to struggle if you cannot love yourself first. There's a really good song called Lift You by Michael Bloom that you might like. Spirit Guides of Group 2. You've just been exploring. You've been trying different things, and that's great. And you're asked to try different things more often. Don't be too afraid to try new things, because if trying new things is the only way you're gonna find the right thing for you. Okay? So, let's get some more cards for you. Spirit Guides Group 2, what else do they need to know, please? I always think that with this decks, and this card in this deck specifically, I always think of bending the truth. But I'm also seeing like putting the light on something that you've been scared of looking at within yourself. Again, shadow work. Putting the light on a shadow. Seeing what it is that makes it tick. Seeing what it is that makes you tick in certain situations. Why do you react in the way that you react? And being objective about it, not being judgmental. Because there's these aspects of you that cause these emotions to come up that are really powerful, and they almost seem, they're almost like they come from a very animal place within us. Luck is changing. The wheel is turning. Yeah, you are already starting to see how you react to things, and what makes you tick, what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what makes you happy. You are already starting to demystify that. And it might not even be conscious, but it's happening already. The wheel has already begun turning. Wow, and you have the sun. Look at that. That's beautiful. So, I mean, with the sun, that's just reinforcing what I'm saying. That is consciousness. That is sight. That is understanding. That is happiness. That is seeing your way, seeing through that mirror, and turning it into a window is what I'm saying. Taking the mirror and turning it into a window. Seeing, instead of just seeing this dark image of yourself, you're looking through a window towards yourself that is light and bright and happy and content. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. It's very vivid. It's like I'm just seeing you, and it's like this, literally, you're looking at this dark image in the mirror, and it's like you're crying and you're sad, and then you have this realization, and you just light up. And so does the mirror. The mirror lights up, and it's from somewhere else, from some other dimension. You don't see your face anymore, not in the way you were seeing it, but what you see is who you are on the inside, seeing this light, just this pure light. And it's completely changing your vision of what you are. Three of Wands. It's releasing these limitations that you've had on yourself that prevents you from putting into action these plans that you've had for yourself for so long. I have chills. I have absolute chills right now. Oh my god. I mean, they're rolling. They're not stopping. And interesting, we have the Three of Cups here with these little mountains, and there's similar mountains in this. If some of you are worried about breast cancer, you are asked to don't wait to see the doctor, because you're going to worry about it until you do. However, you don't need to worry. Things are going to be okay. But for some of you, you should see a doctor regardless, whether that be because you want to stop something from getting serious, or just for the pure fact of comforting yourself. Okay? Because you need to know, and it's the right thing to do to make sure that you're in good health. And for if you were male at birth, then you might want to do some similar checks, like a prostate exam or whatever. Check yourself and get a doctor's opinion as well if you need to. For a prostate exam, I don't think you can do that yourself. So that would be something a doctor would do. Anyway, 3 of Wands, 8 of Swords. So, yeah, here we have the Death card again. This feeling of entrapment, this feeling of being surrounded by people that you don't trust on all sides, this feeling of always being on edge is going away. You are finally releasing all of it. And you're finally seeing who you truly are. And this fear of death as well. I think that's why the Cancer thing came up, because a lot of you have a serious fear of death. I'm sorry if that triggers you. I should have said trigger warning, my bad. But if you, so you know what? A long time ago, I did a lot of meditation, so much so that I did reach like a state of like complete like nirvana, just once or twice, but just one time was all it took for me to lose a large amount of this fear of death. Because once you feel how everything is the same, that there is no real separation, that is, I mean, you no longer, I mean, it's still scary. You still have your instincts, and that's gonna cause us to be afraid of death to a certain extent. But this mental anguish that it causes, it disappears. And it's something that I really, really highly recommend. Everybody is able to meditate, even though it was very difficult for me. I mean, it still is very difficult for me. But the difficulty is the solution. Anyway, but if you have been fearing for your life recently, you are told that there is hope for you, that things are going to be okay. That, I mean, the fears that you have are not, what you fear of happening is not going to come to fruition. Okay? Let me get one. Well, since I said it, I realize I'm over time, but I'm gonna get one. Which is Green Witch's Oracle card for you. Emotion Cucumber. Yeah. The way you feel is changing. I mean, and releasing these final difficulties is all it's going to take for your entire world to change. And the way you relate to the world is just going to change so much. And this emotion card is such a happy sign that with the Sun card, but from before, happiness is coming to you. I know it seems so unreachable, seems so far out of reach, but it is happening. Can't believe that. Alright, Group 2, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really means a lot. Also, comment down below, tell me how this resonates. I will see you next time. Bye. If you chose Group 3, then this is your reading. So, Spirit Guides of Group 3, please tell us what they need to know. Wheel of Fortune. I think we've had the Wheel of Fortune in every single group. So there's a huge shift in energy happening. I'm not gonna speculate as to why, but it's happening to everybody. It's not just you, it's not just me, it's everybody. But there's a huge shift happening, and these possibilities that you've been planning for are opening up for you. The plans that you wanted to make, it's finally, like, you're finally going to be able to make those plans, and they're finally going to come to fruition. Knight of Swords. So for some of you, you need to watch your mouth. Some of you might be a little bit impulsive. So in the next few days, there might be somebody who pokes at you a little bit. You are asked to do some breathing exercises in preparation for that, so that you can just gain just a tiny bit more patience, because I think you're going to need it. Five of Wands, yeah, you are going to need it. Somebody is definitely going to be coming at you. They're going to be coming for you. Alright, sorry I got cut off. So group 3, somebody is going to be coming for you this week, but like, not in the worst way. It's just, they're just going to be saying something to you that is going to upset you, possibly, this week, this month. But Spirit is bringing this out, so that means it could be an important thing for you. There could be an important reason why this is being said. So watch your anger, because you don't want to react too strongly to this. You want to be the calm one. You want to be the bigger person here. You really do. I know some of you are saying, why should I always be the bigger person? In this case, it's going to be to your benefit. Trust me. It really will. It's not about them. It's about you and about the outcome for you. If you want a good outcome, stay calm. Stay collected. Okay. Spirit guides of group 3. What else do they need to know, please? Okay. Knight of Wands, excuse me. Knight of Wands. So more of this impulsive, impetuous energy. So there's somebody that you might be dealing with. You might even be dealing with a child who is kind of a lot to handle. It might be your child. You might be a teacher. If you're not dealing with a child, then this might be your inner child. Especially if you're a male, this might be your inner child. Although this is a female on the card, even though technically, usually this is not a female on the card. It's just this specific card has a female on it, so it really doesn't matter what gender you are. But there's this definitely masculine inner nature, if this is about your inner child, that really needs to be taken care of, because there's been a lot that's happened recently, and you have to process it. You have a lot to process, and it might be weighing down on your mind a lot, and it could cause you to blow up on somebody, and it wouldn't be the right person or time to blow up. Trust me. You have the Seven of Pentacles and the Justice card. So again, like, there will be a consequence if you blow up. So, but there's also going to be a consequence for this person who is pressing you regardless. You don't need to provide it. It's going to be provided. And whether you know it or not, it might even come in the privacy of their home or whatever. This person is the justice is going to be supplied. And it's not always going to be like a terrible, like, moment, you know. Justice does not have to be super dramatic. It's just, you know, justice is going to be restored. And you know, what happens, the natural consequences will be given. For some of you, you might feel like you need to provide your own justice, and I totally feel that. I agree to some extent that that people are meant to dole out justice, but it's not always the case. Sometimes it's not our job. And in this case, I really don't think it is our job. I think that this needs to be released, this idea that you need to provide the justice, that you need to respond in a certain way. Because your peace is at stake. Your emotional health is at stake here. And you've worked really hard on yourself. You have done the work, and that is bringing you the positive results that you wanted. But the thing is that even if you do end up reacting to this person, that is, and it does bring you some kind of consequence. This will be an example of how you can forgive yourself, because there's things that you haven't let go of about that you've done in the past, and you feel like you need punishment somewhere on the inside. It's not like you want to be in pain, but there's a part of you that feels like you deserve it, and this has got to be let go of. This has got to be let go of, because you've suffered long enough. You might have done something that required a little bit of regret to learn from, but it's done and it's over. You no longer need to be paying the price for this anymore. You no longer need to be punishing yourself by bringing conflicts unnecessarily into your life. Yeah, a big renewal is coming towards you. A big renewal of how you see justice and how you feel like you should be involved in it. You will not always, it depends on what it is, obviously. I think for some of you, you feel like there's a certain limit and there's a certain boundary that if people cross, then you will dole out justice, and I'm not going to argue with that because I agree with you. But you're not going to feel the need to get justice for every wrongdoing that you've perceived to have been done to you. And also, you're not going to feel the need to pursue justice against yourself subconsciously for every wrongdoing you perceive to have done to others. Okay? Whatever you've done is over. We all make mistakes, and a lot of people will not admit that. But we all make serious mistakes. All of us. And, some of you are saying that, well, this one was especially serious, and I feel you. But if you've learned from it, if you regret it, then that shows you that you are not a bad person. That you have learned from it. That you know that what it was not something that you want to repeat. And that is enough. Now that you understand that you don't want to repeat that action, that is enough. You don't need to pay for it anymore. You don't need to put yourself in front of the police's bullets, so to speak. Because there are some people who feel so guilty for one reason or the other that they commit some weird crime that would usually not require the police to pull out a gun, but they push the police to do that so that the police will shoot them, and I think it's suicide by cop. And that's the kind of image I'm getting. That's a very dramatic, exaggerated image. But I mean, if you are thinking about suicide, please contact somebody. Please seek help for that. That is really important, because there's a reason why you are in this world, and the world needs you, whether you see that or not. It's unbelievable for some of you, maybe, but believe it, because the world, you are going to leave a mark on the world that is super important, that needs to be left. And if you don't do it, then it's going to be a long time till someone else comes around to do it. We have the Hermit on the bottom of the deck here. So it's really time to go inside. It is really time to do some shadow work, okay? To understand what it is that makes you feel so guilty, that makes you feel like you've wronged the world somehow, and that you deserve punishment, because you don't. You don't. You don't deserve punishment. You deserve love. And you deserve to give yourself that love, okay? Let's get these cards. What else does Group 3 need to know, please, Spirit? Spirit guides of Group 3, what else does Group 3 need to know, please? Oh, wow. Nightmare. You could have been having nightmares, or you could have experienced a situation that felt like a nightmare. That's the Ten of Swords here. But also this card talks about regret, talks about guilt, talks about shame. You know, it talks about things that we wish we could change about the past. And that's one thing, another Buddhist teaching, I don't know if I talked about this in this pile or the last one, but that's another thing, you know, I personally need to start meditating again as much as I used to, because when I used to do it, the amount of guilt and shame and all of that stuff just was so much reduced, because I realized how much it doesn't matter, how much a lot of the things that seem important are not. And what's truly important we have. We have death here. I think we had death before, right? Regardless. I forgot who this god is. Please let me know in the comments if you feel like it. But it's the Egyptian god of death. Alexa, who is the Egyptian god of death? Is it Ra?
Anubis is the Egyptian deity associated with afterlife, cemeteries, death, embalming, mummification, and the underworld.
Okay. So that's Anubis. So you might feel like doing some work with Anubis. You might want to study him and see what that brings to you, what kind of wisdom that could bring. You really need to have a creative outlet that you can put these, because if you can express these feelings that you've had for so long, if you can express them in a healthy way, like art, you are going to be able to let go of them without even really needing to try. I mean, I think you're going to need to do some shadow work. You're going to need to go inside, meditate, and do all that good stuff. But if you can find an artistic form of expression that you don't even need to share it with anybody, like, at least not at first. You just need to do it, because the more you do it, the more you express yourself, and the more these feelings can be let go of, like, a lot more easily. A lot more easily. And especially if you can do some kind of artistic expression while you practice mindfulness, it's going to be super, super good for you. You have the Five of Cups. You've been carrying the weight of these mistakes you made for so long. It is time to put them down, my dear. It really is time. Yeah. And it's like you feel like you're walking through this sludge. You don't know when this is going to end, when this part of your life is going to end, and the universe is telling you that it's going to end when this conflict finishes. We have the Five of Wands again. Things are going to change with these two fives here. Things are going to change, and they're going to change a lot. But when these conflicts are dropped, when you no longer need to bring conflict into your life, that is when these changes that you want to happen will happen for you. And the universe is happy to help you with that. Spirit Angels Group 3. What else do they need to know, please? Yeah, things are going to change. I mean, I think we've got the Wheel of Fortune in every pile multiple times. But things are changing for everybody at the moment. And the winds of change are powerful right now. And that's the universe is saying, jump into them. Allow them to take you away. Because those winds of change are not always going to be like this. And if you can tap into that now, tap into this energy of change, you can truly find like a lot more depth of change than you can even imagine right now. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, both reversed. You are truly trying to you're pushing these negative parts of you away, while there's this conflict between these negative experiences that you had, not the negative parts of you, the negative experiences that you've had that cause you to want to punish yourself, but also this feeling like you don't even deserve to process them, and you're pushing them away, and you're trying to pretend like everything is okay. You're just saying move on, get over it, and that's not how it works. You can't just get over it. You have to process it. You really do. And I think a therapist will really be helpful for many of you. At least a reading with me would be pretty helpful, I think, with you. So what's one more card for you? The Sun. Look at that! So the universe is saying everything is going to be okay. It really is. It's just, it doesn't seem like it right now. And it's acknowledging that. The universe acknowledges that things do not seem bright right now for many of you. That things seem bleak. But that is going to come to an end. The sun is going to come out. And you are going to find the end of this suffering that you've been pushing away, that you've been trying not to process, that you've been punishing yourself for. You're going to process this, and once you do, everything will change, and in a huge, beautiful way. I'm hearing that many of you are going to meet somebody new. You're going to get rid of a relationship that's not good for you, and you're going to be alone for a while, and then you're going to find somebody new, and that person is going to be somebody you're going to marry. You might even have kids. But when you're ready, don't use having kids to try to heal yourself. That will not work. But when you're ready, you're going to have the kids that you kind of always dreamed of having, if that is a dream of yours. Things are going to be very shiny, very lovely in the future for you. That is such a wonderful sign of that. So, Group 3, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please comment down below and tell me how it resonated. I hope it was helpful for you, and I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful day, night, or whenever you watch this.